Knock, knock, it's Knuckles. Oh, no. And oh shit, it's back! It's back, everybody! Ah! Sorry for the long wait, everybody. Don't worry, as I said in my last update video, I never intended to end Sonic fan game reviews. And now, I'm bringing it back. I can't confidently give you a schedule yet, but I can tell you that a couple of the games I plan on reviewing include Sonic Project 06, Sonic Discovery, and the upcoming Sonic Momentum, which looks very interesting. But without further ado, let's get into today's game. Game developer PixelBytee's physics and momentum-based bridge between classic and modern Sonic, known as Sonic Flow 2. I'm going to be looking at version 1.2.0, which is the most recent version as far as I'm aware. This is a game I might not have checked out if it hadn't been for this fan request here. I remember seeing a showcase of this game a short while ago on YouTube, and not really giving it a second thought. At first glance it looks like a good game, but nothing we haven't seen before. It's another fan game that mixes some movesets of the modern and adventure Sonic with some classic Sonic zones brought into 3D. However, I'm glad I got this recommendation, because once you start playing this game, you'll realize it does have its own unique feel and charm. Plus, in a way, it's kind of a good thing we keep seeing fan games being made this way. It shows that the Sonic fanbase isn't as divided as some say we are. While these games all have their own differences, seeing so many games that seek to revitalize the adventure moveset with physics and level design based on the classics might help give Sonic Team some idea of what we want the future of the franchise to be like. Maybe they'll finally get their heads out of their asses and make a game we actually want! Okay, let's get into the review. Yeah, this game has a story. It currently just exists as a couple paragraphs in a text file, but I do find it interesting as it seems to be attempting to bridge the disparity between generations and Force's classic Sonic, offering an explanation for that infamous Tails line in Forces about classic being from another dimension instead of the past.
Sonic from another dimension, aren't you?
The second paragraph seems to be referring to Generation's story, since it mentions a dimension where a younger Sonic met up with his older counterpart to run through time together and save the day. And it seems to suggest that yes, Classic is Modern's younger self in that game, but that Generations itself takes place in a different dimension than Forces, which would explain why in Forces, when Classic Sonic from Generations shows up, it's Classic Sonic from a different dimension, thus explaining what Tails said. Either that, or I'm completely misunderstanding what I'm reading. Either way, the story sounds interesting, and I'm excited to see the cutscenes once they're made. Our journey begins on the first level, which is... Wait, the second level is Marble Zone. Oh, it's all just gonna be the Sonic 1 levels. Okay, false alarm, guys. But it's Green Hill Zone. It's okay, go back to guarding Press Garden Act 2. I really like the level design in this game. It isn't perfect, but it has a good balance of having a lot of alternate paths without it becoming too confusing to navigate. Sky Hill and Shattered Marble are two great starting levels, and I'd love to see the levels get more expansive and challenging as you progress further into the game. The controls and physics feel really good in Flow 2. That classic momentum is here and accounted for, so you can get mad speed from rolling down slopes, and it works great. A few cool moments stand out for me in Sky Hill. I like this part here where you're meant to destroy all the robots to bring a pulley down, but if you're skilled enough, you can bounce off one of the robots and double jump up to the next platform. There's another part in the level where you grab an invincibility monitor and suddenly all these robots appear and you just walk through and smash all of them and feel like a badass. Seriously, Eggman, why would you program your robots to just show up as soon as Sonic gets an invincibility monitor? The second level, Shattered Marble, is also really good, or at least what there is so far, as the stage isn't complete yet. The 2D sections in this game are handled nicely, with smooth transitions into and out of both of them. Unfortunately, you can't use the D-pad in these sections. It doesn't really cause much of a problem, as these are quite easy, but if they are meant to get trickier in the later levels, having the D-pad functional would be great for these, since 2D is generally easier to control with a D-pad than an analog stick. Overall, I like the gameplay, moving around feels really good, and the level design reminds me of Sonic Utopia, except a little easier to navigate. This is an early release of the game, so it's understandable that there are some bugs and issues to be worked out. There's just a few things I noticed here that PixelBytee might want to work on in future updates. The menus aren't really designed with controllers in mind. Even with the controller plugged in, we're still only seeing control prompts for the keyboard, and there are many areas in the menu system where you have to put the controller down and click with the mouse. The hint bubbles in the tutorial stage don't show controller buttons. It only shows the keyboard controls. It's pretty easy to figure out the controls by trying all the buttons, but it would be helpful if they were shown in the hint bubbles. I was getting a lot of lag when I played, especially in Shattered Marble, so I turned down the graphics settings. But even when I turned them all down to low, the game would still turn into a slideshow anytime I ran too fast or jumped. That is, until I found the screen resolution options. For some reason, you can only find them in the pause menu during gameplay. Once I turned the resolution down, I finally got a smooth experience. I was even able to turn some of the graphics settings back up. I'd recommend having an extra tab in the main menu for changing the screen resolution, and or having one of those startup boxes that lets you pick screen resolution before starting the game, if that's possible. A couple tweaks and fixes could be made in the gameplay as well. For some reason, you can't homing attack or use your spin dash while the level title card is on screen, which actually caused me to die a couple times. The homing attack can be a bit finicky at times. I specifically noticed this with enemies and monitors, but don't worry, it's not a super common occurrence. There are also some platforms where you can charge up a spin dash, but releasing the button does nothing. And last but not least, what is it with all these egg pawns being suicidal in this game? First they show up the moment I grab an invincibility power up, and now they're jumping off of cliffs to their death! Eggman, you seriously need to work on your AI programming. These pawns aren't gonna kill Sonic if they all kill themselves. Like I said, however, this is an early demo, so I'm sure many of these issues will be improved in future versions. And what I'm seeing so far in this game is fantastic. Sonic Flow 2 has a ton of potential. I'm already enjoying what I've played so far, and I can recommend giving this game a shot if you haven't already. While there are some kinks to be worked out in future versions, it's already got open level design, great controls, physics, and more. And I can't wait to play more of this game. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Sonic Fan Game Reviews. I'm glad to be back working on these. As I said, I've got plenty more of these in the pipeline, and while I can't give you a schedule just yet, I guarantee they'll be here before long. This has been Knuckles. I'm headed back to my island to guard the Master Emerald, but I will see you next week. Have a good one.